Welcome back to another episode of the Executive Code Podcast. If you want to find out more about what it is that we do and how different ways of how you can get in touch with us, head over to paulwilliamdavis.com and you'll find all the different ways and all the different resources to help you on your journey. I'm joined here with Nicole, and Nicole has another question for us this week. So over to you, Nicole. What have you got for us?
So, Paul, how do we approach getting older, especially when we get to a certain age and feel like we haven't done anything meaningful with our life, and perhaps feeling trapped and wondering what the point of life is?
Says the young person to the old person. So, yeah, let me put it this way. Look, at age is but a number. It's your outlook. So a lot of people, I'd actually come across a few people whereby they would ask the question, is it too late to find a purpose? And they might be in their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, or their 70s. Age makes no difference whatsoever. It's ultimately what I'm going to say to you is it depends on your choice and it depends on your outlook. So is it too late to find meaning in your life? No, it's never too late. And you just never know when you're going to go, meaning you never know when you're going to pass away, because there's no end of different circumstances that can show up in your life that could cause for a person to pass away. So you never know when the end point is. So the whole outlook that you want to have is literally to try and suck as much as possible out of life as you possibly can. So if you feel, based on the age that you're at, that you only have a short time period left to go, as in a number of years, or you have a few decades to go, it's literally to get as much out of life as possible. So if you, the way I suppose my view of what I do and the life and the work that I do and the kind of people that I come across and my whole focus within the business, my whole standpoint is that time is running out. So now I'm an awful lot older than you, Nicole. So from my perspective, yeah, time is running out. And I've a big number of people that I want to reach and make an impact with. So the more each year passes on, or each month passes on for that matter, the little thing in the back of my mind is that time is running out, because I never know when that time is actually going to end. So therefore, in some respects, on a race in order to get to achieve what it is that I want to achieve, while enjoying the journey. It's not about racing through life, and it's not about that whatsoever. It's getting to achieve what I want to achieve in this life, but it's also enjoying the journey along the way. If somebody is there from the perspective, which is your question, feeling that they're not doing anything meaningful or have a purpose in their life, there is a way to find your purpose. And you'll notice from listening to this podcast, or if you're new to this podcast, that's exactly what we do. We identify what an individual's purpose is, and then it's how do we structure our life, our career, our business around that purpose. So is there a way to find your life purpose? Absolutely is an absolutely proven way to find your life purpose. And the feedback that I get from clients that have gone through the methodology and gone through the process of finding what their life purpose is, it gives them massive clarity, massive certainty, and it gives them the focus in what it is that they need to do. So if somebody's there feeling that they've got a life that's meaningless and they don't know what their life purpose is, it is absolutely possible to find your life purpose. Ultimately, what you want to understand is there is an overarching purpose to life. So I just want to answer part of your question, which is, for somebody that they feel that there's no meaning to life, there is an overarching purpose and meaning to life. And that overarching purpose is to be who you truly are, not to be anybody else, is to be who you truly are, what I refer to as your genius you. It's to love, it's to live life fully, it's to experience and to evolve. So you can literally live that life literally from today. So in line with that overarching purpose. If you want to find your own unique individual purpose within that overarching purpose, that's absolutely possible, is what I said earlier on. But let's start looking at how can you live that overarching purpose in life. Well, first of all, to love. How can you express compassion for somebody else? How can you do, for example, a random act of kindness where you're not looking for anything in return, but you're doing a random act of kindness. And now you're experiencing, not just for yourself, but also for somebody else, that moment of love or that moment of compassion. How is it that you can be of service to somebody else, and therefore you're going from a point of love or with the intention of love? How can you reconcile with other people in your life that perhaps you've fallen out from? So whether it be a sibling, whether it be a relation, whether it be a friend or a colleague, whatever it might be, if you're hanging on to the resentment, well, that's not coming from a space of love. And therefore the person that's doing it, the person that's doing more damage to is yourself and not to anybody else. So we can literally start from today in being love. When it comes to how do we evolve, well, then you can start literally again from today of asking yourself, how have you grown spiritually, mentally, or emotionally? And, wisdom is one of the fundamental things of what you want to look at when it comes to evolving. It's wisdom and consciousness. So where people talk about, for example, where they refer to as new age or woo-woo or spirituality, what they're referring to is the levels of consciousness. So we can actually start today in order to actually develop or build our own level of consciousness and our own wisdom. It's until such times we actually seek that out, we cannot begin to evolve in our life. When it comes to live, you've got a choice. You can sit on the couch, you can do nothing. That's not the choice. And that's what you enjoy doing. That's absolutely fine. But what is it that you're doing for somebody else? What is it that you're doing for other people? So when people ask me to say that statement from the point of view, my life is meaningless, my life has no purpose, that's because they're looking introvertly as opposed to extrovertly. So they're not looking at ways of how they can actually help and support somebody else. And the more you can help and support somebody else, well, then actually the more you're going to get back in return. So that's how you can start to live life. Now, how do you experience? You get to experience every single day. It just depends on how you look at that experience. But look at it from the perspective, what are the new things that you can start to do in your life in order to actually experience? So what are the creative things? What are the new ways of doing different things? What are the new activities or the new things that you haven't even started to look at yet right now at the moment? Well, that's how you can start to begin to experience. We experience in all different ways, and there's a much deeper level or deeper meaning to what I have in relation to experience. But that's how you can start to meet each of the aspects of the overarching purpose of life. The bottom line is we all have a choice, and that's where free will comes into play. So we've got a choice as regards to what we want to get out of life, what we want to put into life, and what you put in is what you get out in every aspect. So it all starts with a choice. If we don't take that choice and take the action in order to fulfill that choice, well, then really everybody's really just standing still. And if you're standing still, well, then what is it that you're going to get out of life? So age makes no difference to me, Nicole. It's literally you take control of your life no matter what point you are in life, and you can still get the most or the maximum out of your life for the rest of whatever those days are. So it's don't give up. It's actually taking control.
And some people have been striving for money or status most of their lives or their careers, and then suddenly realizing it doesn't make them as happy as they thought it would. They're maybe wanting to get off the hamster wheel, asking, what should I do with my life, or where to start making a change? So where do you recommend they start?
To get off the hamster wheel and to start making a change, and find your life purpose without a shadow of a doubt. I've seen so much change in the people that I've worked with. I'm not going to say all people, and I'm going to classify that. The people that I'm able to provide their life purpose for, and they take the action, and they literally just implement what it is that I guide them to do, the change in them is just absolutely phenomenal. There's other people, however, that they're still either licking their wounds, or they're hanging on to their story, or they're hanging on to all the stuff that's impacting or negative in their life, as opposed to actually running with and implementing what it is that they have. They're the ones that it's heartbreaking for me, because now I'm observing them not fulfilling their life purpose. They're hesitating in relation to their life purpose. They're not implementing what it is that they're to do. And that's heartbreaking. But at some point, yeah, they will be, for one good word, they will be forced into actually fulfilling their life purpose. You got to think of it from the perspective of, and again, it depends on how much people are open to this, but I'll say it anyway. As a soul, you have a contract. You have a soul contract to fulfill your purpose. So the universe will create circumstances and give you the feedback and give you everything that you need to fulfill your purpose. If you don't fulfill your purpose and you're not fulfilling your contract, that's what happens in life when I talk about the feathers, the bricks, and the trucks. Until such times we're forced to fulfill our purpose. Now, are there many souls that depart this life without fulfilling their purpose? Millions, absolute millions. Part of my mission is to try and get as many people as I possibly can onto fulfilling their purpose, so therefore they fulfill their contract, and therefore they are evolving as individuals or souls in the overall super consciousness. So that's just give you a glimpse of part of the work that I'm here to do. So to answer the question that you're asking, Nicole, the first port of call is find your purpose. Now, unfortunately, and look at, I'm in my early 50s, so all the stuff that's out there in terms of that talks about purpose, and we've talked about this on multiple occasions, different episodes, that talks about purpose and find your passion and this, that, and the other, and so on. From listening to me, is completely incorrect. Not completely incorrect. It's just misleading. Okay, so, but the methodology that I bring people through to find their absolute, true, unique purpose is specific to them, and it's absolutely unique to them. And once they have it and start to implement it and designing their life around it and structuring their life around it, whether it be their career or their business, that's when they now start to get the fulfillment, the purpose, and the meaning out of their life. So it gets back to the first question. It's a choice. It's whenever somebody wants to find that information out, that's the choice. Is there a way to do it? Absolutely is. People can go to my website to find out how it's done, or to reach out to me, or to connect with me in order to find out what their unique purpose. But immediately what happens after that then is, once they find out what their unique purpose is, it's taking action in order to actually fulfill it, and not allowing other things to show up in their life that's holding them back. Whether it be fear, whether it be anxiety, whether it be what other people think, whether it be different circumstances that are in their environment, or whatever it might be that's holding back, the doubt that they have for perhaps what they perceive as being a lack of resources or whatever. There's always a way to get to where you want to get to, and the universe will support, because the bottom line is you have a contract. So the universe wants to support a soul fulfilling their purpose in whatever way it possibly can, in the most amazing ways it can possibly can. But it all starts with the individual making that decision and making that commitment in order to fulfill their purpose. When they do that, now miracles can start to happen. And yes, are there things that show up? Fears, anxiety? Yeah, but there's ways around it. It's about getting through it.
For everyone, there's an inner desire to make a difference, using their lives instead of dreading the work week every Sunday night and feeling the Monday blues. So, people can try to find their purpose on their own, but the better way seems to be getting help by working with a personal development coach like yourself.
I'm going to narrow that down a little bit, because I have yet to come across another individual that can do the kind of work that I do. A lot of other individuals and a lot of other coaches, career coaches, life coaches, and no disrespect to anybody else, because the bottom line is we are all souls. So I see every single individual as a soul. So it's no disrespect to any one of those. That it's just, unfortunately, the techniques and the methodology that they have is based on what either somebody else said or they haven't developed, or what I'm being so, but it's not hitting the mark. Hence the reason why I get so many clients coming to me saying, Paul, I've been searching for years to find out what my life purpose is. I've worked with and gone to so many different coaches, mentors, teachers, courses, all that kind of things over many, many years. I spent fortunes trying to find what their life purpose is. And I come to you, and it's basically half a day you tell me what my life purpose is. And they now have such clarity and confirmation and confidence in relation to what their life purpose is. That's so, back to your point, whereby people could go to other people, but Yeah, they're not. They may not find. I've yet to find another individual that can do or is doing exactly what I do in terms of answering each one of those questions. That somebody that's looking for their life purpose, ultimately they want to know what they need to do, how they need to do it, why they want to do it in the first place, meaning innately, and secondly, what's going to give them that fulfillment, that joy, that passion, that zest for life. And going back to what you said earlier on, to get off that hamster wheel, because being on the hamster wheel is no joy. All you're doing is Groundhog Day. It's the same day every single day with no purpose and no meaning in your life. If you want to have that life, well, then that again, that's a choice. But if you want to have a life that's of fulfillment, joy, passion, and desire for what it is that you're doing, and really, really enjoying what you're doing, loving what you're doing, well, then, and knowing exactly what you want to do, there's only one way to do it, which is literally what I call the pilot's manual. And that's how we find somebody's individual purpose.
An interesting point to note about, what you mentioned about the universe creating circumstances is we connected on Upwork when I was kind of in a holding pattern in life because of the pandemic and my flying career was kind of on hold. And so, it really helped me to intentionally think about what I wanted to do with my life and also personal development in general. And so it's great that we get to talk about this every week on here.
Yeah. I love it this way. I put the intention out there as well. This is where the universe supports. I put the intention out there that I wanted somebody that would be really, really enthusiastic in the message that I was trying to get out there, the work that I was actually trying to do, and will be engaged in what we want to do in terms of sharing the podcast, recording the podcast, and getting it out there. There's not many people that will actually do that. And then I'm not joking you, within a matter of a couple of weeks, first of all, you showed up, but to put the cherry on the cake, or as I describe, when the universe delivers in such a way that it's like Christmas morning every single day. And what I mean by that is, so when I came across yourself, Nicole, and then I find out by your profile, oh my God, this person is a pilot. She has worked with NASA. She's worked with McKinsey. She's worked with your whole history and so on. And she's a pilot. Based on where, all the aviation work and the aviation terms and my passion and love for aviation, it was phenomenal. That literally is, that's how the universe literally provides, and it's how the universe is so amazing and perfect in how it actually delivers. And it's like Christmas morning every single day. So it just depends on how people want to live their life.
My takeaway is to not be afraid to ask for what you want, because life will find a way to give it to you. And it may not be in the way you imagined, but more often than not, it'll be in an even better way.
Absolutely is. Absolutely is. Every single time. Perfect. Thank you so much, Nicole, for your question. I hope that's been helpful to our listeners. If you want any more questions or there's anything that you want to dive deeper into, by all means, come over to our website. There's our free community where you're very, very welcome to join. We meet every Monday in terms of answering people's questions. It's live on Zoom, so you can join us there as well. How you find us is you go to our website, paulwilliamdavis.com. All the links are there, all the different ways of how you can get in touch with us. And if you want to find what your unique life purpose is, there's a way of how you do that on our website and how you can get in contact with us. And we'll bring you through the whole process of finding your whole unique life purpose and all the different elements for it. Again, the website is paulwilliamdavis.com. I look forward to connecting with you. But until next time, I wish you every success.